The wedding photos were still uploading to Instagram when the screaming started. Blood splattered across white marble floors. A bride's body discovered at 3:47 a.m. and a secret so dark it turned a fairy tale wedding into a nightmare that would shock Dubai's elite forever. But here's what the police didn't tell you: the killer made one fatal mistake, and the evidence they found will make your blood run cold. Stay with me, because what I am about to reveal about Amara's hidden past will change everything you think you know about this case. Your support means the world to me, and it's what keeps these deep dive investigations possible. It's completely free, but it's a major means of support for this channel. Every subscription helps me bring you more of these meticulously researched true crime cases. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming up on this channel. Amara Halil, 26 years old, stepped into her honeymoon suite wearing a custom Vera Wang gown that cost more than most people's cars. Her new husband, Kareem Al-Mansouri, heir to a billion-dollar construction empire, carried her over the threshold at exactly 11:17 p.m. Before we dive into this absolutely shocking case, I want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you watching right now. The woman who walked into that suite wasn't who she claimed to be. The name on her passport? Fake. Her entire identity? Fabricated. There's a 4-minute gap in the footage between 3:43 a.m. and 3:47 a.m. where something so brutal happened that investigators still can't talk about it publicly. What could Amara have been hiding that was worth killing for? And Kareem was about to find out. The first responder quit his job the next week. And the crime scene photos? They've been sealed indefinitely. If you're not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button right now. Now, let's get into this horrifying story that will leave you questioning everything. The Burj Al Arab suite cost $25,000 per night. By dawn, it was a crime scene. March 15th, 2023, Dubai's most exclusive hotel. Kareem glanced at the screen and his blood turned to ice. Champagne chilled in silver buckets. Everything perfect. Everything planned. Everything about to go horribly, devastatingly wrong. 6 hours and 30 minutes later, she would be dead. There were 2 more texts, each one more damning than the last. The marble floors of the presidential suite gleamed under crystal chandeliers. Rose petals scattered across Egyptian cotton sheets. But here's what you need to understand about Amara. Security cameras caught everything that night. Well, almost everything. The hotel manager who discovered the scene needed 6 months of therapy. What kind of secret could turn a fairy tale wedding into a bloodbath? The answer will terrify you. At 11:43 p.m., exactly 26 minutes after they entered the suite, Kareem picked up Amara's phone. She was in the bathroom, still in her wedding dress, touching up her makeup. The phone buzzed. A text message. Payment confirmed. Location sent. See you at 3 a.m. as planned. But that wasn't the message that killed her. There were 2 more texts, each one more damning than the last. Kareem's hand shook as he scrolled through Amara's phone. What he found in her photo gallery made him physically sick. What he discovered in her deleted messages made him rage. But what he uncovered in her hidden apps, that signed her death warrant. Amara wasn't just hiding her identity. She was running from it. Her real name was Sarah Petrov, Bulgarian, 28 years old, not 26. And for the past 3 years, she'd been working for an organization that specialized in something so disturbing, so twisted that even Dubai's underground networks wouldn't touch it. But here's where this case gets truly sinister. Kareem wasn't supposed to find out. The wedding, the romance, the entire relationship. A network of people who would kill to keep their secrets buried. And Amara had been collecting evidence against all of them. It was all part of a larger plan. Amara was using him. But for what? The deleted messages revealed everything. Names, dates, bank account numbers, locations. She wasn't just a con artist. She was building a case. What against who? The third secret in her phone revealed the truth. screenshots of conversations with someone using the codename Oracle. Someone else had been watching. Someone else had been planning. And at exactly 3 a.m., they came to collect. Plans for the wedding night. Instructions for after the ceremony. Between gasps, he managed to whisper something that made the operator's blood run cold. Furniture overturned. Windows shattered. And Amara's body. The condition of her remains suggested this wasn't just murder. This was a message. And a promise that made Kareem realize he wasn't her victim. He was her target. What they uncovered painted a picture so complex, so international in scope, that Dubai police had to call in Interpol. In the parking garage, they discovered Elena Rodriguez, a journalist who'd been investigating human trafficking rings in the Middle East. But Kareem wasn't the only one who knew Amara's real identity. Evidence of a human trafficking network that operated out of Dubai's most exclusive hotels. The 911 call came in at 3:47 a.m., Kareem's voice barely recognizable through shock and terror. She's everywhere. There's so much blood. Oh God, what did they do to her? It wasn't just one weapon. It was an arsenal. The operator tried to keep him calm, but Kareem was hyperventilating. They're still here. They're still in the hotel. Each one left a trail of evidence that would eventually lead to his capture. But the most crucial mistake? He underestimated Amara. Face obscured by shadows, but not his hands. Those hands bore a distinctive scar across the knuckles. And according to hotel records, he'd been employed as night security for exactly 6 days. A scar that matched exactly one person in Dubai's criminal database. Dubai police arrived in 4 minutes. What they found defied explanation. She was feeding information to someone who was using her intel to eliminate competition. The suite looked like a war zone. But here's what the media never reported. Amara wasn't the only victim that night. One that was systematically eliminating the competition through seduction, infiltration, and murder. In the suite directly below, hotel staff found the body of Marcus Chun, a private investigator from Hong Kong. 3 bodies. 3 different methods of execution. 3 different crime scenes, but all connected to the same network. The forensics team worked for 18 hours straight. DNA evidence from the suite matched profiles in databases across 4 continents. Fingerprints belonged to individuals thought to be dead. And the murder weapon? But the most disturbing evidence wasn't physical. It was digital. Amara's laptop, hidden inside a false bottom of her suitcase, contained terabytes of data. Financial records, photographs, videos, audio recordings. The victims weren't random tourists. They were wealthy, connected individuals whose disappearances could be explained away as business trips or vacations gone wrong. And Amara? She wasn't just documenting the network. The investigation revealed something impossible. Amara had been working undercover for 3 years, but she wasn't working for law enforcement. She was working for a rival organization. Kareem hadn't married a victim. He'd married an assassin. He thought he was smart. He was wrong. Dead wrong. The killer made 7 critical errors that night. Even as she was dying, she was still playing the game. The elevator cameras revealed the truth. At 2:58 a.m., a figure in hotel staff uniform entered the service elevator. Viktor Kozlov, Russian, 43 years old, wanted in connection with disappearances across Eastern Europe. But Viktor wasn't working alone. The parking garage cameras caught him entering a black Mercedes at 4:15 a.m. behind the wheel. A woman, blonde hair, designer clothes, expensive jewelry. Someone who clearly didn't belong in a getaway car. On the surface, she had no connection to organized crime. But deeper investigation revealed a different story. But her patient files, seized during a raid on her office, revealed something far more sinister. Facial recognition software identified her as Dr. Isabella Martinez, a respected psychiatrist who ran a private practice in Dubai Marina. Dr. Martinez had been treating several high-profile clients, wealthy individuals dealing with anxiety and depression. She wasn't treating mental health conditions. She was programming her patients, using advanced psychological manipulation techniques to create assets, people who could be activated for specific tasks without their conscious knowledge. And Kareem? He'd been her patient for 8 months. The session notes described programming phases and activation triggers. Dr. Martinez hadn't just been treating Kareem. Every conversation with Kareem, every strange behavior pattern, every sign that he was being controlled. And it wasn't Victor Kozlov. It wasn't Dr. Martinez. The prescription records showed a cocktail of drugs designed not to treat anxiety, but to increase suggestibility. She'd been preparing him to kill his wife, someone who had been using Dubai as a hunting ground for years. But Amara discovered the plan. The hidden camera in her wedding bouquet had been recording everything. Respected, trusted, connected to every wealthy family in Dubai. The perfect cover for the perfect crime. She knew she was going to die that night. But she also knew exactly who was responsible. The wealthy victims were selected because Hassan knew their travel schedules. The disappearances went unnoticed because Hassan controlled the security footage. The final piece of evidence was found sewn into the lining of her wedding dress. A micro SD card containing everything. Names, locations, bank accounts, photos, videos. As Kareem's wife, she'd have access to Dubai's elite social circles. She'd be able to document Hassan's operations from the inside. She'd be able to gather the evidence needed to bring him down. And nobody suspected a thing. An entire network of corruption that reached into Dubai's highest levels of government and business. Working undercover for a coalition of families whose loved ones had disappeared in Dubai, she'd spent 3 years building a case that would destroy Hassan's network forever. But most importantly, it contained proof of who was really running the operation. It was someone nobody suspected. Someone who had been orchestrating everything from the shadows. Someone who made one fatal mistake. They trusted the wrong person with their biggest secret. Everything you think you know about this case is wrong. Amara wasn't the victim. Kareem wasn't the killer. And the person behind everything? There's someone you'd never suspect. Hotel security chief Ahmed Hassan had worked at the Burj Al Arab for 12 years. But Hassan wasn't just running security. He was running the entire operation. The human trafficking network operated out of Dubai's most exclusive hotels because Hassan gave them access. For 12 years, he'd been using his position to facilitate the kidnapping, trafficking, and murder of some of the world's wealthiest individuals. But Amara did. She hadn't come to Dubai to con Kareem. She'd come to bring down Hassan. The wedding was the perfect cover. But Hassan discovered her real identity 3 days before the wedding. The plan was simple. Use Dr. Martinez's conditioning to turn Kareem into an unwitting assassin. Let him kill Amara in a moment of rage. Claim it was a crime of passion. Case closed, investigation ended, network protected. But Amara was smarter than they thought. The entire network of corruption. And she'd been feeding information to someone Hassan never suspected. She'd been documenting everything. The conditioning sessions with Dr. Martinez. Hassan's involvement in the disappearances. When Marcus went missing while investigating the trafficking network, David hired Amara to help him find the truth. Kareem's business partner, David Chun, Marcus Chun's brother. Almost. The trigger phrase embedded in his subconscious during months of therapy turned him into a killer. He attacked Amara in a dissociative rage, exactly as programmed. The same Marcus Chun whose body was found in the suite below. He'd wounded Amara but couldn't kill her. David had been investigating his brother's disappearance for 2 years. But Hassan discovered the connection. Marcus had to die to protect the secret. Amara had to die to protect the network. And Kareem? He was just collateral damage. Hassan's network was exposed. The trafficking operation was shut down. And justice finally began. A signal sent to David Chun. A signal that triggered the release of all the evidence she'd been gathering. A foreign intelligence service that had been using Dubai as a base of operations for eliminating inconvenient individuals. And most importantly, Viktor Kozlov entering the suite to finish what Kareem couldn't complete. The trafficking network was a cover. The real operation was assassination. She'd been working for a competing intelligence service. Her mission wasn't to rescue trafficking victims. It was to expose and destroy a rival operation. Viktor Kozlov disappeared and is still wanted by Interpol. Dr. Martinez received life in prison, but her conviction was overturned on appeal due to technicalities involving the evidence-gathering process. The night of the murder, everything went according to plan. Dr. Martinez activated Kareem's conditioning at exactly 3 a.m. It wasn't even organized crime. It was international espionage played out in Dubai's most exclusive hotel. But Amara had been expecting it. The hidden cameras captured everything. Kareem's attack. Amara's desperate fight for survival. Because Kareem's conditioning hadn't worked perfectly. Some part of him, some deep love for his wife, had fought against the programming, so Viktor did. But in those final moments, as she lay dying, Amara managed to activate a device that would expose everything. Within hours of her death, every police department in the world received copies of her files. The trial revealed one more secret that changed everything. Hassan didn't just run a trafficking network. He'd been working for a government agency the entire time. Not Dubai's government. Not the UAE government. The wealthy victims weren't random targets. They were whistleblowers, journalists, activists, and investigators whose work threatened powerful interests around the world. And Amara? She hadn't been working for grieving families. The wedding night massacre wasn't a crime of passion. Hassan was sentenced to death, but died in police custody before the sentence could be carried out.